Allowing Frank Miller to resume his job as a police officer seemed like a foolish decision to some, most actually, but budget cuts and general cheapness of the city meant that it was time for him to return, patrolling the city once more in a British police car. Which was even more maddening is that now he is allowed to deal with major accidents, which was the first thing that he was given to do. He also decided to have one himself. Despite his stupidity, he managed to do a decent job with this. No arrests, but certainly a lot of tickets. It would be enough to make one believe he had turned over a new leaf, until the moment he parked into a bus station in order to catch speeders. Despite that clear criminality, he successfully made the city safer, reporting people a few miles over the speed limit and giving them tickets. It seemed like he was finally living up to expectations. He even pulled someone over. And that was when he went back to his old ways, pulling someone over and then promptly having an accident. It did give him an excuse to get a new police car though, and this time, actually an American one. Not that he had a chance to take it, for his next shift was a nighttime shift on foot, and he hoped for some excitement. He was wrong. In a quiet town, it turned out that night shifts are just boring, and began with lots of ticketing. Eventually though, Frank Miller gets even more bored and so gives up and goes and sees the sights. Like a church that, alas, was just a church and not some kind of zombie apocalypse place. He may have been playing too much Resident Evil 6 recently. As well as some of the unique, exotic local things, like levitating women. The job waits for no man though, so he does get back to it, issuing tickets and chasing a woman with a sign, who promptly crashes. Dealing with that crash gives him a drug arrest that he was very pleased about. What he wasn't pleased about when he finished the accident report was that the high as a kite lady vanished entirely. No sign of her anywhere, but apparently that was normal, so he finished his shift without incident. He could not be kept at the car for long though, and the next shift he took a nice all-black police car. What could go wrong? That is what could go wrong. Car trashed in under 10 seconds. That is a Brighton City record. Surprisingly though, that was his only accident for an entire shift. His shift seemed to involve finding a lot of drunk drivers, arresting one after pulling them over for missing a red light, following by arresting another at an accident. After this though, the shift continued pretty boringly, although considering the quality of Frank Miller's policing, perhaps that was good. One day though, he may have a chance to do something exciting. After a failed attempt to hit on the desk sergeant and having a quick look at the unusual sights, he got to work. Mostly standard stuff, a small rave in some blue smoke, and he decided, for reasons still mostly unclear, to test the car's maximum speed when he spotted a crook. His attempt to apprehend them went less than well. He replaced his car and then had another accident. At this point he had caused more accidents than he had helped with. Perhaps he was better off just giving people direction, but even that goes badly. In the end he just gives up and goes back to bed. Since his last shift, the station was apparently fitted with new blinding lights, so he was happy to leave. The shift went surprisingly well for Frank Miller, in that it was a boring shift. While it seemed like having consistent major crashes was not a desirable trait in the average police officer, it did at least give him something to do. Perhaps this is a sign that Frank Miller is getting good at his job. Or perhaps it is a sign that this is still a training area, and that next time he will be going somewhere entirely different.